whatever new video you want to see in the future. If you missed it, remember, click the bell for notification. Then you'll be able to see it and check it out. So, on with the video. I'm not gonna do that for the rest of the month, but anyways. So this is my review for James Rolfe's movie, The Head Returns. So pretty much, if you're familiar with James Rolfe, or if you're not familiar with James Rolfe, well, quick summary. James Rolfe is the angry video game nerd, AVGN, and also James Rolfe is also a filmmaker. Independent filmmaker, or just filmmaker in general. So here's what I can tell you this. I've been following James Rolfe for quite some time. 2007, to be honest. And since then, I've watched his work. I watched his work as the angry video game nerd. I watched his work in his short films. I've been to his site, Cinemassacre.com. If you know about Cinemassacre, you're probably subscribed, or you're probably not subscribed. And what else? Alright, anyways, James Rolfe just released his film, The Head Returns. So pretty much, what can I tell you? Well, since it's the month of Halloween, well, here's the one thing I can definitely tell you. James Rolfe is a big horror movie fan. Epic horror movie fan. He likes reviewing tons of horror movies, this time of the year. Every October and every single year in October, he reviews horror movies. And to tell you the truth, we all should know this right now, that James Rolfe, big horror movie fan. I'm a big sci-fi fan, classic sci-fi fan, and, anyways. So pretty much, the type of movies that James Rolfe is mostly into, horror comedies and psychological thrillers. Also, James Rolfe is a big fan of The Three Stooges and just slapstick comedy. Those are the type of things that he likes to review, those are the things he likes to watch, and those are the things that he enjoys watching. So I mean by horror movies, like horror movies from the 1910s, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and I might as well say the 50s through now. But either way, now like I said, James Rolfe is also a director. Well, he's kind of like me in some ways. Only except I come out with my work for every month or two or something like that. James, he just happens to come up with a movie every single time, or back in his earlier days when he was a kid, he would come up with film just like that and that and that. But either way, his most film that he always talks about every 10 years is The Head Incident. Now, The Head Incident was originally not really a film that was released anywhere. Just a film that he just made back in 1999. So, back in 1999 when he made his film, showed it to his friends and family, but then also released it to his earlier sites, or just kept the VHS tape of his work since then, and now he still talks about it every 10 years. He talked about it back in 2009, he talked about it back in 2019 last year, and he's been saying, he's been waiting to do a big time movie, or waiting to make something out of nothing, basically. So The Head Incident is one of his best films I've watched it a few times, and yeah, it is one of his best films. And I just got done recently just watching the remaster version, and I do agree. It's shorter, but still good. It's still good. And now The Head returns, literally a sequel. So after the first one is about this, I don't know, type of stoner rock punk guy or something like that. All right. Basically, James Rolfe in the first film plays two people. He plays the doctor and the friend of the guy who's been thrown into the mental hospital. So, literally, the guy that's thrown in the mental hospital, he's our main character and main survivor. And he clearly winds up, going insane, saying,
"It was a head, man. It was a head, man."
And, he just goes out of his mind, basically. So it's one of those psychological thrillers, like, is what he's dreaming is real, or is it something out of the supernatural? I don't know. But the sequel, since at the end of the first film, now I'm not giving any spoilers, now James Rolfe, how it ends, now, maybe a spoiler, Stewie?
Oh, hang on. Spoiler alert!
Okay, thank you. So pretty much, the end shows after his interview with the main guy, he gets a phone call saying that someone else has also been attacked by the head dummy thing, legit head dummy. And how it ends, it just ends with James Rolfe looking like so literally, now the sequel is about the doctor who was interviewing Rick, and now it's the doctor that's going insane. So the doctor, so how the film opens up, with now, now there's now a watch group for the guy with the fedora hat, and there's basically a watch team that's after the fedora hat wearing guy, mysterious guy, basically. So now we show the doctor from the first film now going insane, now saying that he thinks he's seen the head now. And obviously it's played by James Rolfe. And if you know James Rolfe, he obviously plays, he has to be one of the main characters or be one of the side characters or be in the film somehow. I don't know. He's a big Ed Wood fan. Definitely a big Ed Wood fan. Oh, so basically this one is more psychological. It's more psychological. It's more of a, a story that, has a lot of psychological stuff. Like, out of this world special effects, surreal imagery, and I don't want to give away the ending, but it's on his channel on Cinemassacre.com. on YouTube, or just Cinemassacre in general. So here's what I can tell you. If you're a fan of horror movies, you probably might like this one. Now, this is not like a 50-minute video of, the first film. So he made a shorter version. The shorter version is practically around 18, 19 minutes or so. This one is kind of centered in 19 and 20 minutes. So, since we're going through COVID-19, it had to be cut as a short, basically. So, clearly, he couldn't get enough people for this one. So he had to do it the simple way, making it at home, making it at a having not too many people in the studio or something like that. But yeah, clearly, you know, a lot of green screen stuff. So a lot of stuff that you'll see is kind of green screen. Can't really tell because everything's all black and white. Maybe you can tell, maybe you can't tell, or whatever. But either way, I'm not going to give out the ending. Trust me on that, I'm not going to give out the ending, but I can tell you this. If you love horror movies, this is right up your alley. If you love psychological horror movies, same difference. Or if you like comedy horror movies, same difference. Still horror, but either way, it's James Rolfe's film. So clearly, you know, if you've seen some of his work, if you've seen some of his material, you know, definitely check it out. Check this one out. I wouldn't say it would be his best out of all time, but I will say this, that yeah, you shouldn't really expect much. Just don't expect much. Don't expect this to be a legit, you know, masterpiece. But if you want to look at it as a masterpiece, go right ahead. But either way, now out of stars, I give it, I guess maybe 4 stars. I mean, didn't love it that much, but as a horror movie, it fits the description. But either way, you know, it's the head. Same dummy he used in the first film 21 years ago. And, you know, it's a James Rolfe film, so what else can I really say? So, that ends today's video. So be on the lookout for a special video I'm working on. And no, it's not a short film, but it's something I've been waiting to talk about. So pretty much it's old versus new type of thing I want to do, which is Carrie, the 1976 version, and Carrie, the 2013 version. But, you know, look forward for that for the next video. Verticalspy, outro.